What's up everybody, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about how there were actually people, trust me on this one, people who felt that Epic wouldn't support Unreal Engine 5 on the Nintendo Switch because Sony paid for a gameplay tech demo at the Summer Games Fest to be on PlayStation, and that the graphics were just so high fidelity and so much quality and so good, there was absolutely no way this could be on Nintendo Switch, right? Well, apparently wrong on that one. So let's talk about this just a little bit. So Unreal Engine 5, it has all sorts of new triangle technology built straight into the engine. You have tech experts, wide-ranging from Twitter follower with about 65 followers to people with hundreds of thousands that questioned the ability of this almighty powerful engine before it was officially revealed that it would support the Nintendo Switch. Could this ever even happen? Heck, we even had people that were so-called tech expert or tech channels sit there and say that the Xbox Series X wouldn't have this, or the reason why it was on PlayStation first, because they've innovated and pioneered this SSD solid state drive tech that just can't be done anywhere else. And I'm thinking to myself, man, is this these people's first video game console market or video game rodeo? We all know what's going down here when we start seeing a company, a third-party extension or engine maker, start talking about one system in a video, right, that was planned and prepared with PlayStation prompts. If they start doing that, you know good and well that it's probably a paid advertisement, because at the end of the day, they're in the business of making money. Epic is in the business of making money and selling this engine, and that's where it went woo right over people's heads. They are in the business of making money, and in order to make a lot of money, you want to be able to sell your engine or your system or whatever the case is to many different types of buyers out there. Now, if you just look at the landscape of the market, I'm not sure if you've been living under a rock or some of these people. If you look at the Nintendo Switch, yeah, Nintendo Switch has 56 million users out there. So if you actually thought that Epic wouldn't support the Nintendo Switch simply because it's not anywhere near as powerful as the upcoming PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, yet somehow still support mobile phones, even dated ones, to be honest, what's wrong with you? What happened here? Why are you not putting two and two together? Oh, but wait a minute, hold up. An idea just hit me. I know why. There are some people that have good memory. Some of you guys have good memory. Some of you guys are just doing it because you think the Switch is just so weak and it can't do anything and you have no idea how tech works. But others are old school. They remember, and I remember. There was a number of years ago, I think if you remember, it was 2013 or 2014, somewhere in that range, probably 2013 or whatever. I'll look it up. I'll have a link for you guys. There was one of the guys from Epic that was talking about the next generation of tech with Unreal Engine 4, which is mightier than Unreal Engine 3, right? He was talking about that. And when someone brought up a question of, well, is this going to be on the Wii U? He started laughing. It was like a big joke, and that was all it took, that and other things, to just sink Nintendo's boat online. People were just clowning the Wii U over and over. It's like, haha, it can't handle this next gen technology. Like, look at this guy from Epic. He's laughing at the technology. It's nowhere near powerful enough, you know? There's no way it's gonna be able to do it. Which he went on an apology tour after that on Twitter and everything. And if a developer wants to port it to the Wii U, they can do so. But the Wii U never officially got any Unreal Engine 4 support or Unreal Engine 4 games, and obviously it died before things could even get going for it. Nintendo had already moved on, which did, I think, in part, so maybe it was a good thing, in part prompt Nintendo to move over to a more modern architecture with what they are doing with NVIDIA and how the structure of that chip is and everything. So it ended up working out, right? Because the NVIDIA Tegra X1 chip. That one was like the mobile super chip, right? Demo little conference where they showed Unreal Engine 4 running on on that. And of course, mobile phones ended up getting it. So I think that's where this Switch isn't going to be able to do Unreal Engine 5 kind of came from. What happened with the Wii U, right? And with the upcoming systems. And that was something that was a big PR blow for Nintendo when it comes down to it. It's like, well, wait a minute, we're paying, $350 for this new system, and it's not even going to be able to run the latest engine tech on there. So it was a big blow, but things are a bit different now. Now, here's what I'll say about that though. If the Wii U somehow managed to sell, 40 million or whatever in that time frame before the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One came out, not 40 million because that would have been a little bit too much because it was 1 year apart, but if it was able to sell let's just say 20 plus million and there was more positive momentum and developers who were making games, I think that Epic definitely would have supported the Wii U more, but it was because it was just flopping and developers weren't putting out anything on there. There weren't any of the big games coming over outside of that first initial stock of games at launch, and those were all Unreal Engine 3 games from the PS3 and 360 or other types of engines. So there was just no momentum from the very beginning, whereas Nintendo went with the chip that already was supporting Unreal Engine 4 with their newest one, and with this they're just kind of bringing things up to date. Now, some people have been asking well, wait a minute, look at how graphically intense that demo is. How are things going to be able to work? Well, they talked about that in the whole thing with Jeff Keighley, the Summer Games Fest. I mean, you're going to be able to scale. There's going to be able to be some stuff that only works right on the high-end systems. Then there's going to be other stuff that works on the lower end, whether you're going with mobile or you're going with PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. And if you want their full statement in terms of what they had to say, or if you want more of the technical breakdown, definitely go to the experts there and get their idea. These Twitter experts, with some of them at least, some people know what they're talking about, but a lot of people just say stuff. But at the end of the day, I think that developers who use Unreal Engine 5 and decide to bring their game over to the Nintendo Switch or PlayStation 4 or whatever system that they're going to do it, I think it's actually going to make things even better. Because if you look at Unreal Engine 4, that engine had some issues, right? Had some issues with Switch at the very beginning. It was still being updated for Switch usage. They were still saying, okay, we have to get this in because the Switch came out, mid-gen 2017. So there were still updates being applied. And that was one of the main reasons why Dragon Quest 11, for example, that pretty much had to be rebuilt in Unreal Engine 4. They didn't want to port it. They just said, hey, you know what? It's still being updated. Let's just wait till it's updated till we can get it and then just build the game again. And that's why that game turned out so well. But this time, Switch is already established. They can work on it from the beginning. It's not a mid-gen type of thing. So you're going to see them probably hit the ground running once it becomes available for developers to use. So if a game is on Unreal Engine 4, they kind of move over to whatever 4.25 or whatever else they have. And then when it's ready for 5, they can do so. So a game like Fortnite, for example, once that comes over to the new engine in Unreal Engine 5, well, that's already on the Nintendo Switch. That's already supported with Unreal Engine 4. They can just bring over that. Or if there's new games, you're going to have that development pipeline that's already developing as it gets going instead of it being a mid-gen thing. So to me, it makes complete sense that it would be supported on the Nintendo Switch. And of course, like I said, it's not going to look anywhere near as good, or it's not going to look as good as the Xbox Series X or high-end PCs or the PlayStation 5, but I think at the same time, it's still cool to have support for people who want to play on the Nintendo Switch. And that's the great thing about gaming, that it gives you options and it gives you choices, and you don't have to go with one. You can go with multiple. You can have a PlayStation 5 and enjoy that, and you can also have a Nintendo Switch and enjoy games portably, or you can have a Series X and you can also have a Nintendo Switch and play games. Or heck, even if you don't care about the graphics as much and you want to have the ability to play anywhere and on the TV, you're going to have your Switch versions when developers feel like doing it. They don't always feel like doing that for the most part, right? So there will be some Unreal Engine 5 games that maybe don't come over to Nintendo Switch in 2021. Actually, I'd probably bank on that, considering that Switch isn't a priority for a lot of these Western developers. They'll just sometimes get stuff done if they feel like it, whereas more of Japanese developers, Switch is definitely a priority, especially with this install base lead that it has over the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be plenty of Japanese developers putting out games on those systems. But they're also going to be looking at the Nintendo Switch because they've had great sales success and the Switch continues to sell really well in Japan. And the console market overall in Japan has just been kind of like meh, but the Switch is doing extremely well. So a lot of these Japanese developers are definitely going to be looking at Switch as more of a priority or equal priority with the current systems with PS4, Xbox One, or even the next generation systems with the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. So at the end of the day, I think it'll all balance out. There'll be some games that come over, there'll be some games that don't come over, and I think that by the time that games really start kind of building momentum with the Xbox Series X and with the PlayStation 5, Nintendo will already start to plan their next Nintendo Switch, which I think will be a complete step, like a nice step above, because it just won't be using the X1. I think they're gonna make a custom chip and even do more now that the Nintendo Switch formula is proven and that's what people want from Nintendo. I think that you're even going to see them go a bit further with NVIDIA and do something kind of crazy for their next Switch. But that's in the future, and of course Unreal Engine 5 will be supported with that since they're teaming up with NVIDIA. So what do you guys think about this when it comes to people who thought that Unreal Engine 5 wouldn't come over to the Nintendo Switch? And what are your thoughts on it actually being supported? Were you surprised? Were you expecting it? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the link in the description. We've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow on there and stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.